Meghan Markle is being treated differently to the coverage the Duchess of Cambridge receives in the media, an expert has claimed. Meghan Markle is being treated with the kind of hate in the media which is different in contrast to the treatment of the Duchess of Cambridge, according to Natalie Morris, a lifestyle writer. Last week 5 of Meghan's friends spoke to a US magazine to reveal the truth about the Duchess of Sussex amid scrutiny in the media. Speaking on BBC's Radio 5 Live, Morris outlined one crucial example of when Meghan has been treated in a different light to the Duchess of Cambridge. She said, "It is disproportionate the kind of hate and vitriol we are seeing in the media and social media about her. It is really unsettling to kind of see that because it makes me question what the underlying motivations are behind this disproportionate anger that people feel. What I think really shows it up is the contrast between the way that Kate is treated and how Meghan is treated. The one example I will bring up is the fact that a number of people brought it up on social media today about the one-arm dress that Kate was wearing, I think at the BAFTAs. She looked stunning and all of the media coverage was incredibly positive, and then you rewind a couple of months to when Meghan wore a black one-arm dress, and all of the coverage there was saying she was breaking royal protocol for this outrageous one-arm dress that was completely inappropriate. She added, "So when you hold the two of them next to each other you have to question, why is there the difference there?" Last week 5 of Meghan's friends decided to defend the Duchess of Sussex in an anonymous interview with US magazine People. One of Meghan's inner circle said, "Meg has silently sat back and endured the lies and untruths. We worry about what this is doing to her and the baby. It's wrong to put anyone under this level of emotional trauma, let alone when they're pregnant." Although, royal experts have warned the Duchess of Sussex with her friends speaking out in the media to defend her. Camilla Tominey told Today, although it is not unprecedented for royals to brief the press via friends, Diana and Charles did it all the time when their marriage was breaking down. "It's not necessarily recommended. It just opens the floodgates. The more you give bad publicity, the oxygen of publicity, it just gets worse and worse." Erin Hill, People magazine editor, explained why Meghan's friends spoke out in the press. She said, "As Meghan's closest friends they are in contact with her daily. They are the ones who see best the effect that the mistruths and rumors are having on her. They felt now was the best time to speak out." It comes following the release of a handwritten note Meghan sent to her father last August. The note was sent just 3 months after Mr. Markle had pulled out of his daughter's wedding due to health concerns, which following a row over staging paparazzi photographs. It seems like every other day, Thomas Markle is speaking to another British media outlet about his relationship with his daughter, Duchess Meghan. But now, 5 of the Duchess of Sussex's close friends have revealed Meghan's side to the story about her estranged relationship with her father, particularly in the aftermath of the royal wedding, when she wrote a letter begging him to stop victimizing her through the media. Speaking to People, Meghan's best friends claim that Thomas never once tried to reach out to her via phone or text. Even after he staged paparazzi photos in an attempt to gain sympathy, both Meghan and Harry were determined to have him at the wedding. The next morning when the car got there, to take him to the airport, he wouldn't get in. Later, Meg heard he had a heart attack and she's calling and texting, even up to the night before the wedding. It was like, "Please pick up. I love you, and I'm scared." It was endless. In the end, Thomas, who was originally meant to walk his daughter down the aisle, did not attend the wedding at St. George's Chapel. But despite the happiness of the big day, Meghan penned a heartbreaking letter to her dad to tell him how she felt. She's like, "Dad, I'm so heartbroken. I love you. I have one father. Please stop victimizing me through the media so we can repair our relationship." Because every time her team has to come to her and fact-check something, he has said, "It's an arrow to the heart." Thomas replied with the long letter himself but closed it asking for a photo op with her. Meghan's friend went on to say, "And she feels like, that's the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm telling you I don't want to communicate through the media, and you're asking me to communicate through the media. Did you hear anything I said? It's almost like they're ships passing. Royal mum-to-be Meghan has faced her fair share of criticism and has even been nicknamed Hurricane Meghan and Difficult Duchess. But her friends were quick to point out that her diva-ish behavior is a total rumor. Who you see at walkabouts, when she crouches down to talk to the kids and genuinely has real conversations with people, that's Meg, says one of her former co-stars. That's how she crouches down with our kids at home. How she plays with them. That's how she engages with people and how she always has. She asks their names, she listens to their stories. And she's genuinely interested. We see a person who treats everyone the same. Another former colleague added, if I'm thrown some kind of curveball, I always think, I got to talk to Meg. We talk daily. And the first thing out of her mouth is, how are the kids? How are you? I'm not even allowed to ask about her until she finds out about me. Even her estranged dad has previously said he was absolutely delighted by the royal pregnancy news, with a source telling The Sun, he thinks Meghan will make a great mum as she is already so maternal. Prince William told his mother Princess Diana that he didn't really want to be king, a new TV show reveals. The startling revelation comes in the concluding part of Jeremy Paxman's Channel 5 series about the royals. The ex-Newsnight presenter spills the beans on a lunch she had with the Princess of Wales, in which she also likened life in Kensington Palace to an upmarket Coronation Street, with twitching curtains. The broadcaster says in the show, Paxman on the Queen's children, about a year before she died her secretary rang me up and asked me to lunch. I've no idea why. She was stunningly glamorous, as you can imagine. We talked about our children and she said William often told her that he didn't really want to be king, and then Harry would say, if you don't want the job I'll have it. I thought she was pretty lonely, really. As we were leaving, I said, what a strange place this is. So quiet, and yet over there is the bustle of Kensington High Street. It's a bit like a prison. She said, it's not a prison at all, Jeremy. More like an upmarket Coronation Street. As we go out, you will see all the curtains twitching. University Challenge host Paxman added, who would want to be a royal? He also suggested the popularity of Prince Charles reached an all-time low after he and Princess Diana split up. Paxman observed, Charles was sought after like a prawn cracker in a dirty ashtray. The presenter says Wales, 36, second in line to the throne, and Harry, 34, have heralded a golden age for the royals. Paxman also lets the cat out of the bag about Air Miles Prince Andrew allegedly demanding entire hotel floors during trips in his days as a trade ambassador. And he reveals Prince Edward once went for breakfast with the Queen on his birthday, but she didn't even know it was his special day. Kensington Palace declined to comment. Meghan Markle has pleaded with her estranged dad to end his painful attacks on her kind, patient husband. In an astonishing 5-page letter lambasting Thomas Markle's behavior, the Duchess of Sussex accuses her 74-year-old dad of fabricating stories about her and Prince Harry. Meghan wrote that her dad's conduct before and after the Windsor Castle wedding last year have broken my heart unto a million pieces. The former Hollywood lighting director has given a series of critical interviews since the wedding and accused the royal couple of ghosting and shunning him. But Meghan's letter to her dad, written last August but only revealed this weekend, reveals the Duchess's wrath at him. In it, she writes, we rallied around to support and protect you from day one, and this you know. So to hear about the attacks you've made at Harry and Press, who was nothing but patient, kind and understanding with you is perhaps the most painful of all. Mr. Markle denies ever attacking the prince but admits telling him to man up for allegedly not replying to his father-in-law's messages or asking him in person for his daughter's hand in marriage. The Duchess continues in her letter, for some reason you continue fabricating these stories, manufacturing this fictitious narrative, and entrenching yourself deeper into the web you've spun. "The only thing that helps me sleep at night is the faith and knowing that I can live forever." The anguish between Meghan and her dad began to emerge publicly when he was exposed for staging paparazzi photos shortly before she and Harry tied the knot. Mr. Markle later pulled out of the wedding entirely for health reasons, leaving Prince Charles to walk Meghan down the aisle instead. Since then the pair have not spoken and Mr. Markle has slammed his daughter in media interviews. His other daughter, Samantha, has also laid into the Duchess in a series of interviews and widely reported Twitter tirades. Tension between Meghan and her dad boiled over this week when anonymous pals of the Duchess told a U.S. magazine she had written the letter to ask him to stop victimizing her and the media. In retaliation, Mr. Markle released the letter to the Mail on Sunday, describing it as hateful.